I'm Jared, this is my mom.
Hi, I'm Jane.
And today we're making Mandelbrot, and it's a traditional cookie from, I don't even know where, Mom. Tell me, I've just been in our family forever, but I don't even know what, tell me about it.
It's an old family recipe.
Okay.
When I was a little girl, I used to visit my grandmother every Saturday. Come hell or high water, we went to visit my grandmother, which we call Bobby. And when I walked in the door, the first thing I did was say hello, and then I ran to the back, and she had in this metal little picnic basket the Mandelbrot.
Okay.
Yeah, so it became a tradition.
Well, the tradition for me, all I know is Mom makes them and we eat them, like 5, 10, 15 at a time. Well, let's get into it. Let's find out.
Okay. I have 4 sticks of butter because I doubled my recipe, and this is now 2 cups. But before we start, we have to put the oven on.
Okay.
All right, so now it's heating. And while it's heating, we have to melt the butter. So I don't have patience, so I usually put it on high. And while that's going, come back into my little bowl, and we're going to put 2 cups of sugar because it's being doubled. So we're getting 2 cups. This is what they mean by a Bissel, okay? So I'm using the measuring. We're going to pour that into the bowl, and now we're going to wait for the butter to melt because that's going to go in with the sugar. Here we go, a little Bissel. I don't usually measure, but they say you should use salt. So what I do is I pour a little in here, just like that. Boom, there we go. There's my salt. And now I need baking powder, okay? You need 2 of these. 2, because remember, it's being doubled, okay? There's my dry ingredients. That's done. Okay, this is the butter. Not quite melted, but as it's melting, I pour it out. And this way, what happens is that you get the butter that's left and it melts even faster, I guess. Back on the stove to melt more. While that's melting, I'm going to mix the butter and the sugar. You mix it good so nothing is left on the bottom. Okay, it's not quite melted all the way, but because it's good and soft, it'll get beaten up. Ready? Here we go. Pour it all in. Whoop!
So you don't have to mix this with your hand or with a
spatula
or anything like that?
Not yet.
All right,
no.
Can I put my finger in here?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's butter and sugar.
But your fingers will get cracked off. Listen, when you were a kid, you used to eat all the batter. There was never anything left to cook or to bake. Okay.
Well, you would always leave some for Jenny and I on the...
Absolutely. Well, we'll take out a little spatula for later. We need the eggs. Now, the recipe calls for 3, 4, I don't know. I just put the eggs in. Sometimes I use 3, sometimes I use 4. Per recipe, we're going to double it. So how many eggs do you need?
8.
And if you use only 3?
6.
Okay, we have 4 in here now, so let's mix this up a little.
All right.
And then we can put more. We don't want to do it too high because it'll splatter.
So, Mom, what happened? You guys found your apron?
Well, you know, I don't like to do work, and I didn't want to get my shirt all dirty, and I'd have to wash it. So instead, I'll wash my apron. So I had
burning over here. What's going on?
No, I had some crumbs in there.
Oh.
All right, so let's keep going with the eggs because we are doubling the recipe.
All right. Should I help?
Oh, if you want to.
What are you up to over there?
I don't know. Put in 1 or 2 more.
1 or 2. Oh, I just went all over the side.
You know, a Bissel of this and a Bissel of that. Did any get in there?
1.
Oh, you dirtied my cup. Go ahead, 1 more. That should be enough, I guess. All right, here we go. All right. And around she goes. Now, you need some flavor.
You just had butter and sugar in there. Wasn't that enough?
No, are you kidding? Now, here we go again. It should have 1 teaspoon per recipe. Doubling it is 2, but I don't measure, especially with vanilla. You would use 2 teaspoons, but that looks like half a cup, but that's what I do. All right, so you mix that in, and that's for flavor. Now we need the flour. Okay, so we need 2 here. Oh, slop, slop. Now, in normal recipes, they tell you to put a little bit at a time. I don't have patience. I pour.
Why don't you pull this up out of the way? Take a look. Go ahead, dump it in.
No, it's all right. Just leave it.
Look, what do I know? I'm just trying to help.
See, that's what I do. And then it mixes. So that would be 2 cups. This is when you use a spatula. Come. Of course, my spatulas never work great, but you just take it from the edges because you want to get everything in here. See? Gotta have more. More. You want to do some, Jared? Oh, there he goes again. You want to pour some?
Sure.
If your hands are busy, you'll stop licking the batter.
So, 1 more cup or 2?
2. Pour it in.
Dump it in.
Dump it in. Don't break it.
Oh, I gotta get it out of there. Oh, I think we're slowing down the KitchenAid over here.
No, it's all right. Look how nice and smooth that is. Ah. Isn't that good?
It's good.
Yeah. Is it? Good,
Yeah,
good?
it's good. I don't keep eating it while we keep
Well,
talking.
now you have to clean that again because you were licking. Now what we're going to do is I think the batter is getting very thick. Come see. I'm afraid when it gets too thick, I don't want to break anything. So what I do to safeguard this is take this off and then change to the paddle.
Whoa, don't put that in the sink. Are you crazy?
Oh, I love that child. Now this is going to help in the mixing because it does get very thick. Now we're going to do a little more. It looks pretty thick, so I think I'm going to go with 1 more cup. Woo. Now, typically we use nuts and raisins. That's the old-fashioned way of doing it. But my kids are passionate over chocolate chips. And of course, look at the chips we have to use. Ta-da! Smells good. It really doesn't matter the brand, you know, whatever is to your liking, or whatever you grab off the shelf, or whatever is on sale. Now, typically, you have to have the batter so that it doesn't stick to your hands. Sometimes, if it's not thick enough, you let it sit for about 10 minutes until it becomes really hard, the batter, so that you can mold it. You're going to be molding it into like a loaf. So we're going to divide the batter. Normally I don't do this, but we're accommodating. How many people like nuts and raisins, Joey?
Many.
Mash them up a bit. Put muscle into it, kid. Very good. Now we need our raisins. I don't know. That looks good. Yes? You want to toss it?
Yeah, sure.
Just like a salad. Just toss it. That looks good.
Okay.
All right. I don't believe in making dirt, and I don't believe in having extra work. So I use parchment paper in baking so that I don't have to wash the cookie sheet. And what we do, this is when your hands come in. You take the batter and you make it like a loaf. See? And you mold it. And I get 3 across. And then you just pat it down a little, like that. There we go. You don't want it too flat. Here's the cinnamon, and just sprinkle some on top. Oh, there we go. Just whatever. Bissel of this and a bissel of that. Go ahead, sweetie. There you go. Good job. Thank you. All right, open.
Oh, they look kind of flat.
They're supposed to. Open, open, open. Now, these are not cooked. They're not baked yet. You see,
Yeah,
they have to be hard.
Okay. Touching for hardness.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we do here, because I'm always watching my weight, what I do is I make a little tiny snip here, because I love ends, and a little tiny snip here, and they become mine.
I always wonder what happened to the ends. Oh, look at this.
All right. It's hot, hot, and you just cut them into cookies, into cookie-sized pieces. See? Just keep cutting.
Mom, who is the biggest consumer of the cookies, me, Jenny, or David?
I think you, really.
Me?
Is it work? Yeah. Not too bad. You know, you get used to it. Now, we have room on here so that we could do this again.
So you cut the corners off for Mom. So these aren't biscotti, Mom?
Well, it's very similar to a biscotti, but it has a different taste.
Yeah.
It's sweeter. A biscotti is drier, I think. Goes in one end and out the other. Makes no never mind. Don't forget, when it cools, they harden. We're almost done. The other way, honey.
Yeah. So this is the finished product, right? The cookies?
Mixed in with the nuts and raisins.
Yeah, I know. We should have
so,
separated
well,
them,
we're going to
whatever.
have to test each one to find
All
out
right, well,
what's
let's test them out.
Okay.
All right, ready? Oh, good.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, here, Joey.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right. Well, it's been fun. Thanks for showing me. I love
Love
you.
you, son.
All right.
Happy baking.
All right.
That was good.